Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and as promised, Dan Dix has joined us. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Dan, you need to know he's not just an independent journalist. He is an old school documentary filmmaker with a fully demonetized YouTube channel as of about a month and a half ago. Still go over to Press for Truth, give him a sub, and he's got his own website. Of course, you can still follow Press for Truth, but he's on today to tell you that he's been suspended because he dared to call a biological man that dyes his hair and wears a wig and still has male genitals, folks, isn't taking hormones, seems to be sexually interested in females. Problem with that is they're 14 and below. We're going to get into all of this, and is demanding that their balls be waxed, I wish I was kidding, by females in spas across the great nation of Canada. Dan, I don't know how else to introduce it. Tell us what's going on.
Jason, it sounds like a joke. Honestly, Canada is turning into a meme, basically, because we're completely falling apart. And you know what? I think it's important to make the note that my issue is not with trans people. My issue is with the system that is allowing trans people to abuse the rights of regular people like me. You know, we have a system here in Canada that's run completely amok. We can track this back to Bill C-16 with the policing of our language when they started saying we can't mispronoun somebody of the wrong gender. Well, I warned back then that this was going to be a slippery slope that was going to lead to these sorts of things. And I don't even want to imagine what might be coming next should this guy actually win this case at the tribunal hearings. And you know what, Jason? By the way things have been going in Canada, there's a pretty good chance this guy might actually win. And if people don't know what he's doing, he's suing these women who refused to wax his balls. I hate to be so crude, but that's literally what we're talking about. He's looking to wrangle, extort $40,000 out of a number of different women who simply refused. And it's just ridiculous. And now, I had a viral video of him losing it on me. For all I did was introduce myself. This video went viral on Twitter, and he lost it. He called 911 on me, pulled the alarm in the elevator, threatened to pepper spray me. So I made a video talking about that, and now I'm being suspended from Twitter because I referred to him as a him, which is exactly what he is. It's absolute lunacy, Jason.
And let's be very, very clear here. Now, a biological male has a set of chromosomes that can never be changed, ever. It doesn't happen. That's not a surgical procedure. We can make the argument, hey, well, you know what? They had surgery, they got breasts put in, or they're on the hormones, they got their genitals, I don't even know, reassigned. Then we could start having a conversation to me about whether they want to be a trans person and what kind of, rights they don't think they have. Because to me, I would say the Constitution and Bill of Rights here in this country guarantees all people the same rights. But that conversation can be had. You, to me, can't put on a wig, troll around the internet for young girls, ask for unsupervised 12-year-old pool parties with them, ride around on a rascal while this is all happening, look like something out of a Mad TV sketch from the 90s, and be taken seriously, Dan. And yet,
Not
your country
Jimmy
is.
Savile impression either he's got going on.
I mean, wow. So before we even get to Yannick, I believe his name is Jonathan, goes by Jessica, a.k.a. Before any of this happens, Dan, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, during the latest purge of YouTube independent journalists, your channel was just completely demonetized. Now, after contacting them, they said, hey, you can get your channel remonetized. You just got to take away the offensive content. And you said, well, I don't have any strikes. There aren't any videos that have been labeled offensive by you. Can you point me in the direction of that content? And what did they say to you?
Well, what happened was on the same day that I got demonetized, one video in particular got removed. And I didn't notice it yet. I was looking into it and I was saying, why am I getting demonetized? And I have no idea. And then I noticed a few hours later, I get another message saying we've removed this video. So one video of all my videos got removed throughout the process. And the video was titled pedosexuals exposed, warning, children are being sexualized at an extremely young age. And I was exposing the so-called trans activist community who are openly abusing children. And I was exposing pedophiles. And that's the video that got pulled from YouTube. So that's what they determined to be hateful or harmful content, that I'm on the borderline of their guideline policy. And therefore, they pulled the plug on it. So that goes to show you what sort of things that they deem to be hateful against these protected characters is what's going on here. And that's what's happening now on Twitter as well. The protected character class is this trans community who, let's face it, are completely delusional. Like, I'm a Gen Xer, Burmis, and, you know, I come from a time when there were what were called transvestites. It was a normal thing, men who liked to dress up as women. We all knew that that was a thing. Well, somewhere along the lines, some of these men started saying, no, I'm actually a woman. And that really muddied the waters and blurred things. And you would think that people would stick with reality and biology and basic science, but the Canadian government itself has gone the complete opposite direction in the name of being politically correct. And it's just absolutely disgusting, because it's leading to a point now where guys like me are being suspended and predators like him are being championed and praised on these websites.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's go back to where you were talking about children in this quote-unquote community. This is probably the most disturbing aspect of all to me. You know, I have two nieces. They live with me, and they're 8 and 10. But last year, one of these kids, thankfully not on the hormones, but was a young boy dressing as a girl for the entire year. And the teachers instructed all of the students to refer to him as a her. And I had to have a talk with my niece and say, me and my sister saying, listen, this is a biological male. And thank God there were no hormones involved, because, hey, this kid's a boy again. All right. And to me, that's confused parenting, number one. Now, number two, in this country, you can't buy a beer until you're 21. But no, you can get reassignment surgery when you're a teenager. That's insane to me. Let's go to the bare minimum in this country of 18, where you can join the military. I feel like, hey, look, if you're going to send somebody overseas to shoot a brown person that has no idea what's going on, maybe they can make all their own decisions. We can start having that conversation. But again, if you want to look biologically, a human being, male or female, is not physically developed all the way until at least their early 20s. So the madness that we are not only allowing but promoting these things to teenagers and preteens is absurd and insane to me. And number two, hey, no matter what you sexually identify, I want to let people know something. When you're born, you don't get what you want. You're going to have problems. There's going to be issues in your life. Not everything is this golden brick road of everything comes to me. You're going to be unhappy. And I would say one of the biggest unhappinesses out there is if you truly believe that you're stuck in a body you can't deal with, and you think that somehow by trying to transmorph your gender identity, that's going to make you happy. All the statistics show otherwise, as after the process is done, they have the highest suicide rates of any group out there, Dan. This is a pandemic in that sense.
Well, if you want to talk about the kids, let's look at what's happening in Canada under these insane laws. There's the case I've been covering of this father of a 14-year-old girl who is transitioning. She feels like she's a boy, so she's transitioning. And the father of this 14-year-old girl has no say in her transition process. In fact, the courts have decided that the father will be arrested and charged with an offense if he refers to his daughter as a girl, not only just to her, but even if he refers to her as a she to a third party. He could be walking down the street and refer to his daughter as a she and be arrested under Canadian law. You know, that's just how bad it's getting, and that's just one thing. I mean, we have something called Bill 89, which would allow child protective services to take your kid away from the parents if they refuse to recognize the preferred gender of their child. And there's no age limit here, Jason. We're talking, what, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, going through a phase? I mean, like your niece or cousin or whatever it was, nephew. I mean, these children, adolescents go through these phases. I mean, the tomboy. I mean, we've all heard of that, and that's exactly what it is. But they're trying to say it's dysphoria, and now they have literally doctors who are prescribing hormone blockers on these kids, and working hand in hand with the government against the parents' will to suggest that they do this, even though, as you said, post-op suicide rates are through the roof. So this is not only bad for me, this is bad for society in general, and we really need to speak out against this stuff because, as I've been saying all along, it's a slippery slope, guys, and just look how far it's getting.
Listen, we've rocketed down on a sled to hell, my friend. Forget about the slippery slope. We're here. And, I want to take note with one more level of this. We've talked about, children really not being able to make that decision and parents pushing them into it. But when there's a financial incentive and a fame incentive for those parents, when there are TV series celebrating not just drag kids, but children that are performing dances on poles in strip clubs, making money at appearances where not only are the parents paid money, but then they're given camera attention and they're paid more money to book their children in front of people that want to see preteens in their fucking underwear, Dan. And I've got a real problem with that, brother. And I really don't like it when people try to spin it, aside from anything else, from pedophilia, because that is what that is.
Yeah, exactly. And thank God this is starting to be exposed and it's starting to be talked about a little more in the open conversation in the masses. Even this Jessica Yaniv character is being exposed as the alleged pedophile that he is. There's a lot of evidence that points to that. And so we're not gonna stay silent about that, because guys like this are literally changing the law, literally putting pen to paper to make it so that another woman will be forced by Canadian law to touch his penis. I mean, when you say it like that, some people are like, gosh, yeah, wait, that's not right. The government shouldn't force a woman to have to touch a penis that she doesn't want to touch. It's like, well, guys, that's what we're dealing with here, and that's why it's important. I felt it was important to follow this case. When I went to the courthouse, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I'd film anything. I just thought I would sit in on the proceedings and listen in. And all of a sudden, I run into this guy. He rolled up right on me, and I politely just said, "Oh, hey, you're Jessica. Can I ask a few questions?" Introduced myself. And as you saw from the footage, he just lost it. And now I'm being the one being suspended from Twitter. And it's very contradictory, because Lindsay Shepherd, she is a Canadian columnist who was recently suspended by Twitter as well for speaking out about this. And her Twitter was reinstated. She was suspended because she said a man is not a woman. Well, I'm saying the exact same things, and I'm being suspended. So there's a contradictory here within Twitter's policies. They're not very clear, because obviously they just reinstated her and then banned me for the exact same thing. But I just hope people make as much noise about what happened to me as they did with her, and hopefully I can get reinstated as well.
And guys, by the way, Dan is being pretty humble here. He didn't just confront her once, or him, or he got Rascal John twice, and this is an open secret, tweeting it out where, hey, do you want to, when you're confronting Jonathan about a pool party invitation for 12-year-old girls, a topless one at that, and rascaling away, why don't you tell us about that confrontation right there, Dan?
Yeah, actually, that was another guy, a YouTuber who was with me, Donald, who called him out on that, and I'm so glad he did, because it's incredibly important to get that stuff on the record. Obviously, Jessica didn't respond because probably he knows anything he can say could probably be used against him in that circumstance. But it's so important, to call these guys out for what it is and get that stuff on the record. So credit to where credit's due. Donald was with me right beside me the whole time, and he started going after him on that point, which I thought was a good thing to do.
Absolutely. Dan, why don't you tell people how they can support you? I know you have a Patreon. I'm not sure if you have a Subscribe Star yet. I know that they've busted down on your YouTube channel, but guys, Press for Truth, it's a must subscribe anyway. I mean, the guy is putting out material now. I believe your channel is well over 10 years old now, right, Dan?
Yeah, started it in 2006, July of '06, I believe. So we're going on, 13 years. Mm-hmm. And I've since diversified into all the platforms, Jason. I'm on, BitChute, Minds, Steemit and DTube, all the other ones, Gab. For the pay ones, I'm on, Patreon, Subscribestar, Float, PocketNet. There's a lot of exciting things popping up right now, and that's the thing. I don't want to. Somebody suggested we should have Jessica banned from Twitter, and I said no. If you got to support speech, free speech, even for the speech that you hate. So banning them is not the answer, just like banning me is not the answer. What we need to do is let the free market speak, let the free market migrate away from these and choose other platforms, and just let YouTube, Facebook, Twitter fall by the wayside on their own and become obsolete. And the way to do that is to join these new decentralized platforms. Guys like you and me really need to diversify our video sharing platforms as a hedge against all this censorship. So I've been doing that. So if anybody wants to follow me on all those links, just check the description on any one of my videos and you'll find me on all these new platforms, because trust me, you, Jason, me, many of us who are doing this on YouTube are going to be gone soon. We're going to disappear. And you guys are not going to want to wake up one day and go, oh, man, I loved getting dailies from Jason live. Man, I love getting videos from Dan. Where did they go? Well, we're going to be elsewhere, and you need to know where to find us. So, yeah, check all the links in the description to any one of my videos, and you can find where you can support me or subscribe to me on the new platforms.
And by the way, against banning people, it also exposes who they are. Bad speech exposes people, so why censor it? I want to know who the monsters are, so there is no reason to ban these people. They don't really have the power that the media has said they have. I want to thank my guest, Dan Dix. I want to let everybody know that we're on the road to 30K here at the Burmist Brigade. Once we hit that, we'll be able to do so much more. I'm doing a monthly GoFundMe where you guys are being extremely generous. Thank you so much. And I will be back probably with some Democratic DNC debate analysis later this evening. I'll see you guys all on the flip side.